In the next few minutes, I'm gonna give you the exact SAT predictions that most students are completely unaware of. And by the way, I've helped over 100 students skyrocket their SAT scores. And I'm not here to give you generic advice, but show you what truly moves the needle. Stick around because if you don't know these strategies and predictions, you're already making a huge mistake. So sit down, grab a pen and pencil and a notepad, and take the next 15 minutes to learn what I'm about to teach you. Because if you can't, I've got some news for you. You're probably not gonna make it. Alright, if you're watching this, you're probably thinking, this looks a tough SAT math problem, right? And if that's the case, you're already at a disadvantage. But here's the thing. Most students will go into this question thinking that you need to memorize formulas and use them on this question. But what if I told you there is a strategy that will make this way easier? Let's break it down. The function they give us is g of x equals 1 over m multiplied by x plus 21. Right off the bat, the students will freak out seeing that fraction with m, an unknown integer constant. But here's the secret, the transformation of the function. In every SAT question, the transformation is your best friend. This is something that most students miss completely. They're just distractions. What you need to do is to focus on how the function shifts. In this case, we are looking at the transformed function y equals g of x minus 9. The magic here is in the transformation. It's asking for the x-coordinate of the x-intercept, which in this case, in case you forgot, happens when y equals 0. But here's the genius move. You don't need to even need to find the whole equation. So let me show you the trick. Substitute g of x into the transformed equation and you get y equals 1 over m multiplied by x plus 12. Now, most students would just plug in random numbers and hope for the best. But you're smarter than that. You all know that x-intercepts happen when y equals 0. So we've set that equal to 0 and solve for x. That's when you get this, x equals minus 12 divided by m. Now here's the kicker that will set you apart from every other student, knowing the range of m. So we can now calculate the possible x values. Most students will waste time solving each one individually. We can quickly eliminate the guesswork and guess the answer in seconds. For n equals 114, for n equals 14, x equals minus 168. For n equals 15, x equals minus 180. And for m equals 16, x equals minus 192. And for m equals 17, x equals minus 204. Boom, done. The strategy here, transformation first thinking, that's the key. Don't get caught up in the noise of the equation. Focus on the transformation and how it simplifies your work. So now let's move on to the second prediction for December 2024. So here we've got the equation r equals in the square root of 9w minus 5. So which equation correctly expresses w in terms of r? So looks like we've got a square root equation here, and this type of problem can easily throw people off. So our first step is isolating the radicand. So the first thing that we want to do is to eliminate the square roots. This means squaring both sides of the equation to get rid of the radical. So r squared equals 9w minus 5. So now we've got a much cleaner equation without that pesky square root. Step 1 done. Now step number 2 is solving for w. Next we're gonna isolate w. So we add 5 to both sides to move that constant over. R squared plus 5 equals 9w. So we're almost there. Now divide both sides by 9 to solve for w. That's our expression for w in terms of r. Now let's see if this matches any of the answer choices. So the correct answer is C. Now here's our third prediction for December 2024. For the positive quantities h, j, and k, 35% of h equals 49% of j, and j is equivalent to 45% of k. What percent of k is h? So we don't have to worry about the percentage sign for now. At first glance, this might sound it's straightforward out of a math wizard's textbook. But what if I told you there is literally an easy way to solve this? All you need is to use the fractional chain reaction strategy. It sounds cool, right? Here's how it works. First things first, we take those percentages and turn them into equations. Watch how we do this with the first part of the problem. 35% of h is equal to 49% of j. This means 0.35h equals 0.49j. Simple, right? Now let's simplify this by dividing 0.35. So now we get h equals 1.4j. So that's our first equation. Now you move on to the second part of the problem, substituting j into the first equation. So we know that j is 45% of k, so you're gonna rewrite this as j equals 0.45k. So h equals 1.4 multiplied by 0.45k. So we get h equals 0.63k. And this means h is 63% of k. Easy, right? All we do was to turn percentages into fractions, set up a simple chain of equations, and simplify it all down. So the answer is 63, disregarding the percentage sign as per the instructions. And there you have it. So this is prediction number 4 for December 2024 exam. So here we've got the problem with the units all over the place. But don't worry, you're gonna use a strategy that is so powerful to solve it. So firstly, let's break down the question. An object's speed is increasing at a rate of 2.7 meters per second squared. What is this rate in miles per minute squared rounded to the nearest tenths? Now, before you get scared, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you this game's changing technique, and it's called dimensional analysis. So our first step is understanding the units. We need to convert meters per second squared into miles per minute squared. You may be thinking, how do I even begin? But here's the trick. Once you know these conversion factors, the rest is so easy, and I'm about to drop them on you. 1 mile equals 1609 meters, 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Step number 2 is converting the distance. Let's start by converting the meters into miles. We all know that 1 mile equals 1609 meters, so we can just plug in the numbers here. That's the first part done. But now we need to convert the time units from seconds to minutes squared. So we all know that 1 second equals 1/60th of a minute, so we need to square this conversion factor. So now let's combine everything together. This is where the wizarding happens. You multiply the distance conversion by the time conversion factor to get the rate in meters per minute squared. Now, step number 4 is rounding to the nearest tenths. Now, look at that number. Prediction number 5 for December 2024. Here's the problem. We've got the expression x in the power of 3 plus 3x squared minus 6x plus 4 multiplied by x squared plus 6. At first glance, this might sound like it's gonna take forever to figure things out. But don't worry, if you follow the right process, it's gonna be easy. So our first step is distributing the 4 in the second term. This is where most students make the mistake of skipping the distribute step or overcomplicating it. So watch this. 4 multiplied by x squared plus 6 equals 4x squared plus 24. Simple, right? Now we have x in the power of 3 plus 3x squared minus 6x plus 4x squared plus 24. Now we can combine like terms. This is actually the beauty of algebra. Everything has a place. The terms go together and all constants stack up. So let's combine 3x squared plus 4x squared. So 3x squared plus 4x squared equals 7x squared. So now you're left with through x in the power of 3 plus 7x squared plus 24. So now we are left with x in the power of 3 plus 7x squared minus 6x plus 24. Now we are going to compare the options, and the correct option is A. So this is prediction number 6 for December 2024. Here's the question. Yasmin harvests 490 bean pods and she saves 10% of them for next year. Now, if you're thinking this is some boring math, just wait. I'm about to show how this tiny trick will make you even more efficient than anyone else. First, you've got the total number of bean pods, 490. Now, the key here is that Yasmin saves 10% of those, right? So 490 multiplied by 0.1, do that in your head or on the calculator. And guess what? The answer is 49. Bam! So the correct answer is 49. So this is prediction number 7 for December 2024 exam. So let's get into this. We've got a box with 23 red buttons and 27 blue buttons. The portion you want is simple. 23 over 50. That's it. No more complex formulas, no complicated steps. Now you could leave it like that. 23 over 50. But why stop there? Let's convert it into a decimal so it's even simpler. So if you divide 23 by 50, we get 0.46. So that's our correct answer choice. So this is the next prediction for the December SAT. This isn't just a boring standard equation problem. Most students see the quadratic equation y equals 0.25x squared minus 7.5x plus 40.25 and instantly think that they need to memorize a bunch of formulas. The key here is understanding the point 1 and 73, and that's they represent the values on the graph. When x equals 1, the stock price is $73. Boom, it's that simple. Now let's break the options down. Option A says the stock price increases by $73 every day. No, this isn't what this point represents. This is not about daily increments or it's just the specific points on the graph. Option B talks about the stock price increasing by $1 every 73 days. Again, it's a no-go. It doesn't really match the context of the graph at all. Now option C. That's the winner. It correctly interprets the points 1 and 73 as saying that one day after the company went public, the stock price is $73. That's the completely correct interpretation. And if you found these predictions useful and want to learn more strategies, imagine how much your SAT score could improve if you had access to all the best kept secrets in one place completely for free. Click on this playlist right here, SAT Tips, where I've shared advanced strategies and hacks that have helped so many students increase their SAT scores in just a few weeks. Go ahead and tap the playlist now and start transforming the way you prepare for the SAT. Don't just hope for a better score, make it happen.